doubt, her twins had already completed turning their wood blocks into race cars. "They'll probably be featured on the front of Great Mechanics," she muttered, and picked up the receiver. Dialing the phone, Gina noted that Danny seemed oblivious to her feelings of inadequacy. But that was the way she wanted it. To share with her 8-year-old the fears and loneliness of being a widow seemed an injustice of grand proportion. Danny just stood there, staring at her with such hope, like he expected her to have some magical formula for changing wood into cars. How could she disappoint him when he believed so strongly in her ability to make things right? The number she'd dialed began ringing, and Gina immediately tensed. What would she say? How could she explain that she'd let the project get away from her, and now it was nearly time for the race, and she hadn't even begun to help Danny put it together? "Hello?" The baritone voice at the other end of the phone immediately commanded Gina's attention. "Yes, is this Mr. Cameron, Cub Scout leader for Den 4? "Among other things," the man replied in a tone that betrayed amusement. Gina smiled to herself and took a deep breath. "Look, we've never met, but my son is one of your wolf cubs. No, wait, I think he's a bear cub or a bobcat. Oh, I forget." The man laughed, making Gina feel uncertain whether he was laughing at her in a nice way or because she'd just managed to sound like Ditz of the Year. "I'm sorry," she muttered and tried again. "This is Gina Bowden, Danny's mother?" "Ah, your son is a bear." "Especially in the morning," Gina countered. The man chuckled. "Well, I can't vouch for that, but on Tuesday night he's definitely a bear. What can I do for you?" Gina looked heavenward and rolled her eyes. "Take me away from the monotony? Give me a reason to put on mascara? Teach me what to do when the sidewalk opens up with cracks big enough to swallow small children, or when the dryer won't dry but just stings at you like you should know what that means." "Hello?" The masculine voice broke through Gina's thoughts. "Sorry, it's been a bad week," she said softly, shaking her head. "This is the problem. I'm looking at this pine box derby stuff." Hysterical laughter erupted on the end of the line, causing Gina to pause. "Is something wrong?" More laughter. "You are the Cub Scout leader I'm supposed to call if I need help, aren't you?" The man collected himself. "Yeah, but it's pine wood derby, not pine box. We aren't racing coffins out there." "You might as well be," Gina replied, then laughed at her own mistake. "I'm afraid if I start in on this thing, that's just what it'll resemble. Come to think of it, it already resembles that. And just what are functional sharp points?" "Would you like me to come over and help you and Danny?" Gina sighed. "Mr. Cameron." "Gary. Call me Gary." "Okay, Gary, I would be very grateful if you would come give us a hand. I'm a widow, and although I've tried to be father, mother, taxi driver, Little League coach, and general all-around good sport, I've yet to master woodwork." She paused for a moment, then remembering that strange check engine light in the van, she added, "Or car mechanics." His chuckles warmed her heart. "I have talents in both areas. Do you have time to work on the car right now?" he asked. Gina smiled, unable to resist. "Which one?" "Let's start with the wooden one and work our way up," Gary countered. Gina breathed a sigh of relief. Just thinking about not having to be responsible for the functional sharp points was making it much easier to face the day. "Sure, come on over. The address is 311 Humboldt." "Be there in 10 minutes." Gina hung up the phone and looked at her forlorn child. "Mr. Cameron is coming right over." Danny's face brightened. Glancing down at her sweatsuit, she added, "I'm going to go change my clothes so I don't look like a bag lady. You let him in when he gets here." 7 minutes later, while Gina was just pulling a brush through her hair, Gary Cameron was ushered into the house by Danny. She could hear their animated conversation as she came down the stairs. "Hey, Mr. Cameron, I'm sure glad you could help me make my car." "No problem, sport. Where's your mom?" It was that wonderful voice, that wonderful masculine voice. Gina paused at the door just to listen.